In a quiet little house, where mornings began with soft sunlight and birdsong, two pots lived side by side. Every day, before the sun fully rose, their owner would step outside, stretch his arms, and pick them up. One pot was smooth, round, and flawless. Its surface shined when the light touched it. It stood tall with pride, knowing it was chosen every single day. The other pot was different. A long crack ran down its side, thin at the top, deeper at the bottom. It hadn't always been like that. Once it too was strong. Once it too was chosen with the same care. But now, things had changed. Still, every morning, the owner carried both pots to the river. The journey was long, the path was dusty, the air sometimes hot, and the walk required patience. The pots would swing gently with each step. The perfect pot held its water tightly, not a single drop wasted. But the cracked pot. With every step, tiny drops of water slipped through its crack. At first, it tried to hold on. It tried to be strong. But the water kept falling, drop by drop, back to the earth. It could feel it. It could feel itself failing. By the time they reached home, the perfect pot was full, shining with pride. The cracked pot was only half full, and every day it heard the same words. "You see?" the perfect pot would say. "You can't even do a simple job properly." The cracked pot said nothing, but inside, it hurt. It remembered the days when it was whole, when it carried water proudly, when it was useful. Now, it felt like a burden. Days turned into weeks. The cracked pot began to dread the mornings. The journey that once felt meaningful now felt heavy. Then one day, everything changed. The owner picked up only one pot, the perfect one. The cracked pot was left behind. For the first time, it didn't go to the river. It sat alone in silence. The sun rose. The wind blew gently. But the cracked pot felt empty. "Now I'm truly useless," it thought. "I'm not even needed anymore." Time passed slowly. Dust began to settle on its surface. The once-used pot now felt forgotten. But one afternoon, the owner returned. He walked straight toward the cracked pot. For a moment, the pot felt a small spark of hope. Maybe I'll be used again. But instead of lifting it the usual way, the owner carried it carefully to the side of the house. Then, something unexpected happened. He didn't throw it away. He didn't ignore it. Instead, he took a tool and gently cut the pot. The cracked pot was shocked. "What is happening to me?" it thought. "Am I being destroyed?" Piece by piece, the owner reshaped it. Then, he filled it with soft, dark soil. Cool, rich, alive. The pot had never felt something like this before. Then, the owner placed 2 tiny seeds into the soil. Small, silent, almost invisible. And finally, he placed the pot in front of the house, right near the porch, where sunlight bathed it warmly every day. The cracked pot didn't understand. "What is my purpose now?" it wondered. Days passed. At first nothing happened, just soil, sunlight, and silence. But then, one morning, something new appeared. A tiny green sprout, so small, yet full of life. The pot felt something it hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Each day the sprouts grew taller, leaves unfolded, stems strengthened. And then, one beautiful morning, flowers bloomed, bright red, golden yellow, soft pink, They danced gently in the breeze, glowing under the sunlight. People passing by stopped. They smiled. "Look at that beautiful flower pot," they said. "It's so lovely." The cracked pot listened. It couldn't believe it. Was this really about me? The same pot that was once mocked, the same pot that felt useless, was now bringing joy to others. The perfect pot stood nearby, still being used for water. But now it was quiet. It watched as people admired the cracked pot, and for the first time, it had nothing to say. The cracked pot looked at the flowers growing from within it. It felt the warmth of the sun. It heard the laughter of people. And deep inside, something changed. I was never useless, it realized. I was just meant for something different. Sometimes life changes your path without asking you. Sometimes what feels like the end is actually the beginning of something new. You may not always be perfect. You may feel broken, left behind, or forgotten. But your worth doesn't disappear. It only changes shape. Know your worth, even when your role in life changes.
Learn some advanced level English vocabularies from this story. 1. Subtle, meaning not obvious, very slight. Example, there was a subtle change in his expression. 2. Transformative, meaning causing a big change. Example, the experience was transformative for his life. 3. Undermine, meaning to slowly weaken something. Example, fear can undermine your confidence. 4. Illuminate, meaning to make something clear or bright. Example, the lesson helped illuminate his understanding. 5. Flourish, meaning to grow well or succeed. Example, the flowers began to flourish in sunlight. 6. Perceive, meaning to notice or understand. Example, she could perceive his sadness.